So that way it breaks them into separate video files on the laptop, so they're easier to upload later.
Welcome in, everybody, on Twitch. We are live with Day 2 of the 2018 Match Play Championship from New Brunswick, New Jersey. Casey Annis here in the booth along with Steve Baroni. We have Justin Desai playing light side in his semifinal match against Brian Mischke playing dark side. Justin's got Throne Room mains. He's just drawn his opening hand. Throne Room mains, of course, starting the Oven 4 Throne Room, allowing the light side player to go first. Justin's starting effects are Like My Father Before Me, Walkling Virtual, and Insurrection and Aim High combo. Brian is playing Endor Operations, and he's starting According to My Design Virtual, which lets him start the Emperor at the landing platform. His starting effects, Endor Shield, which you start against Throne Room. Looks like I can't really make out the other two effects. Justin's going to start off with an All Wings combo and get the Falcon. Brian's going to answer right back with a short range combo to get a ship of his own.
No, don't.
He's also going to get Admiral Ozzel with Endor Shield. What are Brian's effects?
Brian
Endor Shield, and where are the other two?
Establish control and the I Am Your Father.
All right, Brian's starting. His other two effects are Establish Control, Virtual, and I Am Your Father, Virtual. So he's going to be playing some mains and some Darth Vader. There's Grand Admiral Thrawn. It appears to be Virtual with the other Endor Shield pull, and the ship is going to be Slave 1, Symbol of Fear. So Endor Ops mains for Brian. Yeah, John, I don't know what that Dreadnought's doing there. I think it's to show the border of the streamable area, but maybe we can get it out of there. So Justin's going to activate for his first turn. He's going to look through his deck, probably with Insurrection, I'm assuming. We did not see him play a Wisa to get activation, and we don't know if he has a Speak in hand. There's the Home 1 docking bay for Justin, pulled with Insurrection. Looks like Justin has played the Do or Do Not shield to stop against Sense. That's something that's always important to do on turn 1 when your opponent starts the Emperor, meaning that if you have a Wisagata Grand Army or a Speak with the Jedi Council that can pull your activation on turn 1 if you're the light side player, starting the Emperor means that the dark side player can sense it even before they've taken a turn. So very important to play a defensive shield that protects against Sense or Alter before playing your first interrupt of the game if the Emperor's on the table. Justin adds the Battle Plan defensive shield as well, so that Brian would have to pay 3 force to drain on his first turn. Brian plays the Grabber. Justin hasn't played a Grabber of his own yet. Brian's first turn, now Brian activates and plays Combat Response from his hand. I believe that's Combat Response Virtual, but I can't tell. He also uploads Force Lightning with the Emperor. And we see a Fondor uploaded via Establish Control from Brian. And we've got an effect deployed on the Emperor. I can't exactly make out what that is. And now a Lord Vader as well, backing up the Emperor at the landing platform. Yeah, John's right. It's Tarkin's Bounty virtual on the Emperor. And Vader's lightsaber on Vader. Well, Seth, you're here in time to watch Brian. Don't worry, it's his first turn. Yeah, this is a pretty good start for Brian, especially. Justin's going to be activating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. So that's enough for, it's not really enough for two characters. He hasn't. He's just going to draw, it looks like. So Brian's going to get drain a 2 in if he wants it on his turn 2. And we'll see if he commits anything else to the board here. And we've seen this from Justin before, drawing up, saving force, keeping enough force in his force pile to have one big turn where he goes down with a lot of stuff. You see a lot of players who like to maybe deploy things one turn at a time, spend their whole force pile each turn committing, marginal increases to their board. Justin Desai is not historically a fan of that strategy. He likes to save up a big force pile, get a big hand, and then come down with everything at once. As we see, we must accelerate our plans for the bridge from Brian, get a little bit more of his activation online. And now here's Slave 1. With combat response to go get Boba Fett virtual. Slave 1 symbol of fear and Boba Fett virtual. Probably going to Endor here. Ozzel aboard as well for free. And they are at Endor. And he'll pass the turn over to Justin. Justin activates. Looking through Justin's hand, he got a couple of Lukes, a Qui-Gon. He's got the battle planes, Hera, Rey. Looks like the Jedi Council chamber in his hand. Solo. A lot of characters if he wants to go down. Also the Falcon if he wants to go to space. Two Padmes. Jedi's Resilience. Blaster Deflection if he wants to fight against Vader. Big hand here for Justin and a lot of force to work with. Probably somewhere around 15-ish force on Justin's side. Oh, Puck, you think that's his deck? Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. That would be a big hand. That is his reserve deck. He was searching with Insurrection. Mark, Brian started Endor Shield because Justin was playing Throne Room and he didn't want to give him Endor activation on turn 1. Justin going to draw again. He's going to take a hit for 4 on his turn. Brian could have drained for 2 on his last turn, chose not to, but now nothing's stopping him. He doesn't have to pay to drain anymore, so he's going to hit for 4. Big hand now for Justin. He's going to play a Wisa. Get the battle planes out of that deck. Brian activates. He knows the beats are coming from Justin. The question just is, how does he want to guard against them? He's going to accelerate for an effect. We'll see what he grabs. Justice, that's a good defensive card. Escape Pod, Wisa, and Speak. 4 interrupts go to the bin for Justin. If I knew that I was going to be playing against Justin Desai in the Final Four, I would be packing a Monarch. I don't know if that's a card Brian's playing, but Justin does love to draw huge hands. Here's Justice. 3 cards are going to get stacked on it from the top of Brian's reserve deck. Darth Maul with Lightsaber, Baron Fell, and Saber 1, Baron Fell's matching ship. So 3 Destiny 1s out of the deck, and a pair of matching pilot and ship pair to boot. Grand Admiral Thrawn virtual down to the landing platform. The ground Thrawn, if you will. And it looks like Brian going to draw a couple cards and say go. Justin activates 9. Looks through his deck with Insurrection. He's got a lot of force to work with now. He's going to play Speak and get the Jedi Council Chamber out of there and give a Verify over to Brian. I believe I saw... Oh, I wanna get another look. I believe I saw something in Justin's hand there. Yeah, it looks like there's an X-Wing gun possibly in Justin's hand. I don't see a ship that it can go on. But I did think I saw one. Might have just been Luke's lightsaber. Never mind, it was Luke's lightsaber. No, there's definitely an X-Wing gun in Justin's hand there, so that could help out against Boba Fett, but I don't see a ship that he can use it with. Justin plays the battle plane, so he may try to avoid the Dark Jedi squad that Brian has on Endor. But he's not going to be out damaging Brian if he just goes to the battle planes. There's Luke with lightsaber to the battle planes. Apparently Justin plays R2 in red 5. It's not a bad card to just float in your deck. Best Destiny in the game. Justin's going to draw some cards. He's going to take another hit of 4. Firepower comes out for Brian, and he's going to retrieve his starting interrupt. He can do that with Firepower because Firepower lets you retrieve one at the end of each of your opponent's turns where your opponent deployed a character with ability, did not initiate a battle, and you control both a battleground site and a battleground system, and all of those conditions are met here. Wisa, the Luke Destiny Adder effect, Forces Strong with this one, Rebel Leadership, and Solo, 3 interrupts and Solo. Pitched to the drains by Justin, who's now lost 8 Force to Force drains in this game. John, there's tape as well. There is tape. There's also cards. Brian says put the Boss Nass Chambers next to the battle planes, and I wonder if that means that he's got an Expand the Empire to put down here. Would be a blowout if he does. It's certainly a card that you would think to play against Justin. No, we're going to see Point Man in the draw phase for Brian. He gets to put a card under his used pile to look through his force pile, take any one card into hand, and then he will get to draw additional cards if he wants to. And I'm sure that if Brian did have Expand the Empire, Justin's running an altar. Light Side Altar is very, very good right now, especially in a deck that runs both the Boss Nass Chambers and the Battle Planes. It's kind of necessary to have that so that you don't get blown out by Expand the Empire. As you see Justin cutting Brian's force pile. Justin's going to need to do something else, though, right now. The ball's in Brian's court. Brian's draining for 4 for free. Justin's paying 3 to drain for 3, and he's already behind. So he's not going to catch up in the damage race just by doing that. Brian does have more cards on table, but the current plan's still a bit unsustainable for Justin. He could go to Fondor, and then that would even up the damage at 4-4, everybody getting free damage in. So you see Force Lightning being played used to cycle the 5. John, it's not hard. Everybody's passed out and hungover. And now Justin's going to go ahead. Big hand for Justin.
He's like 18.
Justin activates. I've been joined here in the feature match area by a couple of Brian's teammates. Looking at Justin's reserve deck, not great destinies in there. It looks like 5-1-1. Couldn't see. Was the other character a Luke? Definitely 2 1s in there out of 5 cards. Not what you want to see if you're about to go pick a fight if you're Justin. Looking through his hand, he's got, as far as ground goes, he's going to use Unita to get Solo back into hand. He's got a lot of interrupts in his lost pile, too. And here's Solo on the Falcon. He's got Anakin in hand as well. He can put him down. Battle and then maybe Leadership. He does have Chewie in hand as well. So Chewie and Han together would allow him to draw 2 Destiny. If he can play Chewie and Anakin, that's 2 Destiny each at +1. Raising his deck. So he cannot play Rey right now. Justin's been known to play 2 Rays, though. It's possible he has a second Ray in hand. There's Anakin.
She's trying 1 at +1 right now.
And 4 Force. That might be the second Ray, or it might be Padme. It is Padme as a passenger.
So adds 1 to attrition.
Destiny to attrition, yep. Does she need to be with a Skywalker to do that? Does she always do it?
Anakin.
Oh, Anakin, right, of course. Right, so Brian does have Justice. Although I think if Brian uses Justice, I think Justin might have an All-Wings in hand. Brian also probably has a short range in hand as well. And Justice doesn't guard against Padme. It would stop the second Destiny.
But Brian could still draw 2 because he could use short range, and he already draws 2 Destiny. Because Boba Fett adds 1. So he could short range for the first one and then draw the normal one.
Oh, right. He's only getting 1 Destiny right now because he did not play Chewie. That's correct. He left the Chewie in his hand. Opted for Padme instead because she gets around Justice. And looks like he's gonna pick a fight. And looks like he spun the Destiny. And that's going to draw a Sense from Brian. He cancels the All-Wings. He's going to have to lose 2 Force as well as the Sense. And Justin is going to need to draw... He's got a 5-card reserve deck, and we know that 2 of those draws are 1s. So... he's going to need to steer clear of those. Vader and Emperor Shuttle. There's a 4. Can you get 1 more good draw? Brian going to draw his Battle Destiny first. 4, 5.
So now he's just going to lose Anakin.
And they're tracking us. And a 1 from Justin. Yeah, Sense should be on top of the lost pile. That's alright. Confusing timing. Alright, so Fett hits the bin, but Brian's probably got another Fett that he's got access to. We can't see his hand. Ozzel sticks around on Slave 1. Meanwhile, you got Solo Padme, who's no longer adding to attrition. I wonder if Justin moves away here. It looks like he will. He'll move to Fondor. Draw his last card. He can put a card back with Luke, remember.
It's like some cannons.
Yeah, kind of surprised there that Brian didn't have either a command or a short range. Well, Mark, Brian pulling off Justice wouldn't really have accomplished anything for Brian except negating Anakin's +1 ability, because Justin was only drawing 1 Battle Destiny. It would have handicapped Brian more than it would have handicapped Justin, and maybe forced Brian to burn a short range.
He does have Baron and Saber ones both sitting on there, though.
Both sitting on Justice, so it does make sense for him to get those off of there sooner rather than later, but he knows that Justin can, put together beat squads that can draw multiple Battle Destinies. John, I assume he used Fett, but I didn't see him do it. Well, Mark, he only wants Fel and Saber 1 if Fett's not getting the job done, and it's more advantageous for him there if Fett's going to stick around to try to clear as much of Justin's stuff as possible. All right, we're going to see another drain of 4 for Brian. Justin looking like he might top deck. He's counting his reserve. Luke, Ray, Force is Strong, Jedi's Resilience. He plays 2 of those. So if I'm Brian this turn, I'm looking to reinforce space. I'm so far ahead in the damage race at this point that I don't care about chasing around. And there's another Fett, so it's good on Brian to have that in hand. I'm guessing that when... Oh, now we see the Emperor shuttle going to Fondor. See, I don't think he needs to do this. I didn't see who he deployed on the shuttle. Tarkin, maybe? I don't think that... It's not Tarkin. Now it's Tarkin. He does deploy Tarkin eventually, but there's another pilot on there as well.
The door's locked.
I don't like this line of play from Brian. I think you put if you're going to deploy the shuttle, put it to Endor. Force Justin to come to you. You're doing the same amount of damage. You're way ahead. You know, there's just too much that can go wrong here if you're Brian, and no real reason to do it. It does look like Krennic on the shuttle, but we're verifying. So my guess would be that when Justin initiated the battle last turn, Brian used the Boba Fett text to go search for a second Boba Fett. And it looks like Solo is going to play all wings from Lost Pile to go get R2-D2 in Red 5. And now this is what can go wrong if you have your forces split up between Fondor and Endor, and Justin just comes down with R2 in Red 5 with the laser cannon and blasts one of your ships.
It's Director Krennic, by the way.
And we've confirmed it is Krennic. If you had 2 starfighters, the shuttle and Slave 1, at a system together, and Luke comes down, he can shoot one Lost, but then he's got to contend with the other ship, and maybe that'll clear him. And it obviously won't be Luke piloting the starfighter because Luke's on Naboo. It'll be someone else, and that'll make it all that much easier to clear the ship and clear the gun. Now, with the fighters spread out one at each system, Justin can come down, clear one, end the battle, and move over and have position against the other starfighter. Four or 5 tracked for Brian. Justin draws Padme for Destiny. He's probably going to lose both characters, and he does. Falcon sticks around. And Tarkin goes Lost for Brian, and now that's a good play. He does move the shuttle back over to Endor, leaving the Falcon stranded unpiloted at Fondor. Bastion, you think he should have lost Krennic there?
He still has Ozzel in space, doesn't he? So
Yeah, he still has Ozzel.
So draw 3 now with the system.
No, I don't think he... I think he had his choice. The Destiny draw was Padme, and she's, what, 2 or 3? I still think maybe if I'm Brian, I don't do that battle at all. I deploy the shuttle to the landing platform. Just put Emperor on the shuttle, fly up, and then I send Krennic and Tarkin on the ground to the landing platform to reinforce there, take Emperor's place. Yeah, Mark, if Justin drops the X-Wing lasers and fights, this could get interesting. It certainly could, especially if he's able to shoot Slave 1 Lost, leaving just the shuttle with Krennic on it. That could take care of Brian's entire space in one turn. I don't know who Justin has in hand to pilot Red 5. He's got Chewie. We know he's got Chewie. I'm not sure who else he has.
Chewie wouldn't draw, so he wouldn't clear it.
Right. If he has, he might have Corrin in hand. Chewie might not need to. Yeah, he's going to pay 3 to drain 3. It's usually the right play. Yeah, shooting Slave 1 is hard enough. You need a good Destiny tracked. We know that Justin searched for Red 5 last turn and then drew a Padme for Battle Destiny, so he doesn't really have anything set up right now. I didn't see him play it used Interrupt to cycle. So he may be drawing blind for the Weapon Destiny, and yeah, if Brian is holding a close call or anything like that, it's going to be bad news for Justin. Point man, force push to the drain. Yeah, Justin has to go for it here. He's going to play Chewie to the Falcon. And draw. All right. Picked up Qui-Gon. He picked up Rey. He's got Jyn in hand, but he can't play her to the landing platform because of Emperor. And Brian going to cycle Force Lightning again. If you're Justin, do you think about grabbing Force Lightning here on the attempted cycle so that then you can play Jyn to the landing platform and hope he doesn't have a second Force Lightning? Tarkin's bounty.
Wasn't set A, was it? Oh, what is this? You always can do Scomplic access too. You can just search it.
So
Came down to 2.
all right, so we got Maul down to the battle plans again. I don't think that's necessary. If you're Brian, there is something to be said by, going for a big win here in Game 1. Especially against a player like Justin, but again, I just feel like everything you do here, you might just be opening yourself up to... All right, Mara also.
He's Phantom Menace.
And Phantom Menace, so Maul's going to be defense value 8 and immune to attrition. Justin, does he play Clash? And Brian looks to have his destinies tracked. Justin's got that 6 in his use pile that he set up for the X-Wing cannon next turn, but that's not going to help him out here. So Maul draws 2 5s to hit Luke. Luke swings back. 4 6, that'll hit Maul. The 4 for Battle Destiny. And Justin's going to Hoojix the battle. So it clears the site. Takes away Justin's drain of 3. Phantom Menace goes Utes, so now it tracks 7 for Brian. If Justin's going to make a play in space, he's got to make it right now. Does give him the option if he has another Luke in hand to play Luke on the X-Wing, but I don't see a real need to do that. Now he's going to just go Rey. Yeah, a little surprised that Brian didn't take a card off Justice in that battle just to get another card, or another copy of Maul at least. You don't get the sense that there are going to be 3 multiple Battle Destiny battles where Brian's going to want Justice before the end of this game. Justin consulting the hand. Or consulting the use pile, rather. That was the Rey search. He took all wings. Now there's the laser cannon. Justin spends 1 to battle. Gonna target Slave 1, pay 3, draw a 6. Slave 1 goes lost. Just the shuttle with Krennic aboard now. And Justin has an all-wings to make sure he clears it out. Saber 1 coming off Justice. And Justin just draws his Battle Destiny. Or that wasn't... No, he spent a force for something. He's going to All Wings. Or more accurately, he's going to Dark Light or Spin. There's the 7 for Brian. That's going to clear the ship. Or is it now? Now he draws a 5. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Yeah, it looks like Justin made Brian redraw, maybe, and he drew a 5. So Ray goes lost. Brian loses everything. Good exchange for Justin. He certainly had to do that. And he's got himself a chance now. Drain of 2, Bith Shuffle, and Hear Me Baby. And now Dooku comes down to the battle planes. Justin looking for a shield here. And looking at his deck, 643. What does Justin have for characters still? He's got about 8 more Lukes.
How's it going?
I've been joined here in the booth by Aaron Kingery. Hard to tell exactly what's in Justin's hand there. Looks like 4 characters, one of which is Jin and an Interrupt. Quarren is another. Justin's got to be getting low on force, too. Justin's only damage potential right now is a pay 3 to drain 1 at Fondor. Brian can pay 6 to drain 4, 2 at the landing platform and 2 at the battle planes. And if Justin does come down to battle him at one of the sites, then he can take Fel off Justice and he'll have Saber 1 and Baron Fel in his hand, redeploy to either Fondor, probably Fondor to stay away from the gun that's sitting at Endor. Justin activates all but 1. The last card is Padme. Here's Lando coming down against Dooku at the Battle Plains. 5 force for that. He's going to be joined by EPP Obi-Wan, so those were the other 2 characters. 10 force total, and it looks like 3 left for Justin.
14 life force for Justin.
14 life force. If that really is the last one force left in reserve.
He checked and only
showed 1, yeah. So he can't battle this turn. What scares me about this line, though, is that Emperor can pull Force Lightning, and then Dooku can just Force Lightning Lando. Is he going to battle?
He just paid 1 to battle. He picked up Baron, as predicted.
So he's just trying to outpower Count Dooku here. He's got power 11. It's going to be 14 after Destiny. Dooku with Obi, I guess, is a 6. Dooku's going to be immune. Now, where is the Force Lightning right now? It's possible that... it's possible that Brian's plan here is just to eat the overflow. Now he does play Force. No, the thing about Force Lightning is that Dooku's going to lose his immunity when that happens. So Brian has to know that Dooku's going to get cleared out here one way or another. He's not planning on taking the overflow. There's the Padme for Destiny. Brian's Destiny, I didn't see what it was, but as long as it's not a 0, it'll clear the site. TB, I apologize about the names. There's no really good place to put those. It's not really any bigger than this.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Can you hit a return and have it go on 2 lanes so it's not as wide?
Not sure. All right, Fell, Saber 1, and Gun against a Chewie on the Falcon that doesn't draw Destiny, just like in the movies. And he's going to clear him out of space. This is looking pretty good for Brian right now. Jin comes down to the landing platform now that Force Lightning's been used. But Saber 1 draining for 3 at Fondor, and Justin's just going to draw cards. It's unclear what he has left. He could maybe set something up where he has a pilot on the X-Wing and gets to chase Fell around in space, but...
He can't chase.
He can't... Right, not with the gun, because then Fell would get to fire first, unless if he plays like Luke on the X-Wing, would Impressive work in space to let Justin fire first?
I think for the fire first thing, you don't even need a Jedi. It cancels a barrier where you have a Jedi, but I think you can take first action no matter what.
So is that something that Justin could potentially have here?
Yeah, that's possible. The other thing, I guess, a few maneuvers could cause a mess.
A few maneuvers, sure. You do have your moments, maybe. Dark time. All right, and Maul and Dr. Reed of the Battle Plains might make this a moot point. It's just more damage potential. He's still got another Maul on Justice if Justin comes down to fight them all that's on the table now. Justin's been behind from literally turn 0 in this game, and traditionally you think of Endor Ops starting the Emperor as having a very, very good matchup against Throne Room. Justin Desai is a tremendous player, but he may not be able to get out of this bind. Well, TB, players can switch decks for today, so even if all the map decks were out yesterday, that doesn't mean that they're out today. I don't believe anyone using map yesterday made the top 4.
Yeah, that's correct. I think the next matchup here will be a map deck, though.
Justin draws up. So we're going to find out what Justin won by, or what Brian won by, and we'll get you that in a second. We'll get ready for game 2.
Brian by 16.
So Brian by 16 was the final total in that match.
All right, that's a pretty good count for Brian. Justin's certainly capable of winning a game by 17. Justin is playing Map for Dark. So I don't know what Brian's playing for Light, but we'll get that for you shortly. We're going to take a short break here, and we will be back with, we got some inside information from one of Brian's teammates that Brian might be playing Throne Room. I played a bit of the Throne Room map matchup yesterday, and if you were watching the stream, you saw that when I was playing against Bill in the first round. I do like map in that matchup, even though you would think that Throne Room would have a good matchup against map. I depending on what build of Throne Room, what build of map, I guess we'll see. I don't know if Brian put Justin on map or if he just put him on Dark Mains. It's certainly possible to tech Throne Room very well for map.
You put him on TTO.
All right, my understanding is that Ari, why don't you come in here and tell the masses.
Brian went to bed early last night, and Charlie built his decks, and Charlie put him on TTO. Justin on TTO.
That's not a bad move. Is he playing Tantive?
He's only playing 2 ships. He's playing Rogue One and Falcon.
All right.
Ships.
Well, Falcon's better. Falcon at least lets you draw multiple destinies at Jakku. And I'm not sure what type of map build Justin's playing. We're getting a little bit of a look at it here. We don't have the deck lists in front of us.
It's by 16. Jason, was that by 16?
Yeah. Doesn't look like the players are taking much of a break here. We got Like My Father Before Me, Walkling, and Insurrection for Brian. Those are the same 3 cards that Justin started against him in the previous game. Justin decides playing the brand new objective from Virtual Set 8. I want that map. He starts 2 Jakku sites along with Starkiller Base. And I'm blanking on the name of the effect, but the effect that lets him cancel weapon destinies at Kylo's site by stacking interrupts from hand. You can also stack them from the lost pile and play them off the effect when you're flipped. You flip when you control 2 battlegrounds and a resistance agent is not on the table. I don't have an indication of who Brian named as his resistance agent. We'll try to find that out.
Yeah.
Can you find out who the resistance agent
Did you get the differential for that?
16, yeah. I will finish what you started, right, is the name of the effect. Troy, welcome to the stream, and thank you for everything that you do for the game. One of the most important and influential people in Star Wars right now, and we have nothing but gratitude for you and for everything you do, and once again, thank you from all of us. Troy, if you don't know, is the creator and administrator of GEMP, which is currently the most popular way to play Star Wars CCG online. Yeah, Throne Remains has been a standby of the meta since 1995.
He still has to decide, but they're taking a break.
Okay, so it looks like the players revealed their starting cards, and now they are taking a short break. Brian has not yet named his resistance agent. The other starting cards on Justin's side, Endor Shield, which he's going to use to pull admirals, most likely Ozzel and Thrawn, but potentially also Piet, and Bow to the First Order, which can take Finalizer into hand and allows Justin to pull cards from his used pile when he deploys the First Order main characters to Battlegrounds: Kylo, Phasma, and Hux. We're going to take a short break. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're back. As the players are shuffling up here, we have an update on the other semifinal for you. That matchup is still in Game 1. Reed Smith is playing That Thing's Operational against Phil Ason's Old Allies, and Reed appears to be ahead in Game 1 of that matchup. Once we have further updates, we will get them for you, but Reed Smith currently leading. When I walked over to the table, it appeared that Phil probably had about 10 or so life force remaining. Reed's life force was maybe double that, and Reed had a stronger board presence. So we'll see what ends up happening in that game. Phil's going to go first here. They shake hands and draw their starting hands.
You know?
I'd like to welcome Tom Kelly to the booth. He's going to be helping out for a bit on commentary in this second game.
Hi, everybody. So now this match, I think probably is going to favor Brian a little bit. You've got the dynamic of mains versus mostly mains, and with Brian getting an early start and having kind of generally more solid characters. I think Matt preys more on the kind of decks that want to set up as opposed to the reactive decks. So
Ozzel and Thrawn non-virtual being pulled with Endor Shield by Justin, as we see Brian go for 3PO with Were You Looking For Me on the Battle Planes with We Got a Grand Army. That's an indication that he already has the Boss Nass Chambers in his hand. As we heard before, Brian's deck not teched to beat Map. It was intended to beat TTO, That Thing's Operational, which Charlie Arlinson, Brian's teammate, thought that Brian was going to be playing Brian with only 2 ships in his deck, and neither one is Tantive 4. So that's certainly going to be significant in this matchup. We don't know exactly what type of build of map Justin has, but we see a great start for Brian here with both the Boss Nass chambers and the Jedi Council chamber from hand and C-3PO coming down to the throne room. That's a perfect start.
Yeah, that's everything he
for
wants.
the throne room deck. He's going to go back into his deck now and look for a docking bay on top of that. Now the question is, how fast does Justin try to set up? Does he risk going down with Kylo unprotected on turn 1? I don't think you can... a lot of times Map will try to flip on turn 1, going to the site with Kylo and the system with a shuttle with Ozzel and maybe Daufeld as well.
You don't do that.
You don't do that against
Throne
Room. Yeah,
Right.
you
Not
can't.
that it's flat extra activation.
Well, Taco Bill coming over to say that you don't do that against Throne Room. I did try to do it against him yesterday and got punished for it when Luke came down and almost cleared Kylo
Oh,
Ren.
man. I didn't tell you this, but there were 2 cards in my deck that didn't clear Kylo. And I drew one of them.
Yeah, no,
I
you
had
did,
Jedi left.
you did tell me
I
that.
did?
Yeah,
Still pissed.
it was a bad beat for Bill. Things go differently. He should have won that game.
Wait, he Jedi left one of the 2 cards and then drew the other
No,
one?
no, no. He drew Sorry About the Mess for Destiny.
Oh.
There were only 2 cards that he couldn't.
And
There were only 2 cards that didn't clear Kylo in his deck
because he had
that
Jedi left.
because he had Jedi 11. He drew one of them.
Well, he could have Jedi left and drawn another character.
It's possible, Tom. It's possible.
He's making this a more bad beat than it is. Anyway.
All right, we got the Starkiller Base Forest on Justin's first turn, downloaded with the Starkiller Base itself. Then we see Kylo Ren's command shuttle coming out with the starting interrupt that goes to Justin's hand.
So I think the thing to do here as Justin is to get Kylo onto the shuttle and put Ozzel just on the shuttle at the site. So that way
I agree.
He's got that's 9 forfeit protection from Destinies, and then Kylo pretty much can't be hit because of the Spectre of the I will finish what you've started effect.
Justin's also going to get a use pile pull here. He
Right. From Bout of the First Order.
flips close call towards the top, and that's going to be the pull. It's a
That
good
makes
one.
sense. I would pull a close call right here too.
Get your protection now. First Order Stormtrooper for free.
And here I'd pull Yavin Sentry if I was Brian. So that's even more protection of forfeit. So
Ozzel.
Ozzel, it makes sense to put him outside now that the First Order Stormtroopers outside. Also, this is representing a lot of power here, let's not forget.
Mm-hmm.
That's a power of 10 plus the power destiny plus a battle destiny. So if Brian wants to fight, he's going to have to prepare to peel some cards.
Well, you're saying he keeps Kylo inside the shuttle?
No, Kylo's going to leave the shuttle for sure.
Does Kylo add the power destiny when he's outside, or
Yes.
just when he's
yeah,
piloting the
Kylo's
shuttle?
no, Kylo adds a power destiny when he's with the shuttle. Let's call up Kylo's shuttle. It's like Kylo Ren's command shuttle. Yeah. No. Oh yeah, Kylo Ren.
When with a shuttle. Guys, I promise I won a game with this deck yesterday. You'd think I know how it works.
Right. So that works on the ground as well as. Yeah, so everyone is outside and just... That's a formidable sight here. We might see Brian want to go to the battle planes actually at this point. Because one thing that map kind of struggles with is secondary attacks. Now, Justin still has Phasma, Hux, Mara Grievous, things like that. But his best guy is now at an inaccessible site.
Right. Well, Map does have plenty of ways to move Kylo around, even
Right.
even with Insurrection on the table. Daufeld can move Kylo in the deploy phase. So if
Did we see what Justin's resistance agent is?
I'm sorry, the Resistance agent is General Leia.
General Leia. Okay, so
Pretty standard choice.
right,
It appears.
that would be probably my choice in a throne room as well. So Justin, also to note, did not
He's
hold
going to
you
go
through
to the
turn
forest.
1. Okay, that's Luke and presumably searching out Luke's lightsaber now.
There it is. Do you like this over going to the battle planes?
Yeah.
More force denial to Justin?
The forest was kind of out of my field of view. I didn't account for it. Yeah, that would be what I would do. You don't... If you can avoid it, you don't want too many battlegrounds on the table until you're ready to go.
The one potential downside I see to this is it makes it slightly easier and more accessible to Justin, because if Justin does play out Jakku, now if he also plays the Finalizer, between the Shuttle and the Finalizer, you can move characters from Tuonel Village over to the forest in one turn.
That's correct. And also...
oppressive enforcement from Justin.
Also, if Justin pulls out the interrogation room, he can use the text on the interrogation room to bring Kylo over there.
The second Admiral pull, Emil, was Thrawn non-V.
Right, so that, of course, being good for piloting the Finalizer.
Mm-hmm.
Finalizer, despite the difference in errors, also a Star Destroyer.
There is no try as well for Justin. Both sack shields.
That makes sense. Oppressive Enforcement is unusually good in map because of strategic reserves. And this probably means that Justin's plan for this forest drain is to strategic reserves and cancel that a few times by placing down First Order troopers. And that's going to put him ahead in the damage race here.
Mm-hmm. Although, and I'm assuming there is no tries just for sense, because the alter to cancel strategic reserves is he's probably playing Alter V, which is immune to there is no try.
Yes, there is no try is definitely a classic response to sense. So Obi and Rey going off the top from Brian.
That's tough.
Yeah, he would want characters in hand at this point.
And he would certainly want Obi as a character to hold on to for the late game so that he can get something back from his lost pile.
Right, yeah.
Most of these throne room builds only playing one Obi.
Right, and one Rey most likely. So, okay, there comes out the interrogation room.
And there's the Jakku system.
Okay, pulling it from the deck, so he's going to have to deploy a guy to the Jakku landing site in order to get that out. And then, yeah. So now we're
Nines.
probably expecting to see Finalizer come out this turn.
No, he's just going to move 9s.
I wonder if he had activated Jakku last turn.
He can take his time. He's got strategic reserves on
strategic reserves
the table.
Yeah, I see
yeah.
that.
So he's not really facing down any damage from Brian. So he can afford to take his time here.
Right. Yeah, I was just more thinking that he would deploy Jakku the same turn as Finalizer, but he may just not want to be in a situation where he wants to commit to space and then finds that Jakku is in his force pile.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so passing the turn back to Brian. Now, Brian has pulled battle plan, so.
Yeah, Justin paid 3 to drain that turn.
Yeah. So now we see, does Brian start paying 3 to force the strategic reserves? I think you have to burn through that.
Well, now we're going to see an alter check.
Yeah, that's a good first point. Although we haven't yet seen Hux played, so altering strategic reserves is kind of less attractive when Justin could just deploy a character and get it right back.
That's true. Also assumes Justin has 4-LOM somewhere in his deck.
Yeah,
very. It's a good combo with strategic reserves if it's going to get altered.
I think he does not have 4-LOM, if I'm remembering correctly. I did the deck check on Justin's list.
Okay. All right, so tell us a bit about Justin's deck. What'd you see in there?
He's got an interesting array. He has, I think, the 4 First Order Troopers as well as the Uniques, but he's not going overboard with that. He has not tactical supports. If he has Trooper Assaults, it's like 2 of them. I also did...
There's the altar.
Okay, so he's... succeeds on the altar. Strategic reserves goes used.
And Justin does not have a dark time, apparently.
Right, that would have been...
Because he could have used that to mess up the draw.
Right, yeah. Altering with Luke on the table isn't actually a sure thing.
Especially not in a deck with so many 6s like Throne Room.
Yeah. but I think he might be like 3 Trooper Assaults. It's that list and Taco Bill's list may have blurred in my mind. I deck checked them back to back.
This is turn 3, technically.
Tobias, yes, that's correct.
It looks like Brian did not play Battle Plan because now Justin plays Battle Order. And you see Dofeld off the top, followed by a second Kylo and Justice.
What's that
Loser.
front card of the light side, if not Battle Plan?
That's Insurrection and Aim High.
Oh, okay. Yeah, alright. So then those are his 3 effects, and then his only shield.
His only shield is the grabber, yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so Justin drained for free last turn.
So it looks like Justin is now shield busted.
He is, and he's definitely got ways to get more shields out, but for the moment he does appear to be busted.
I'm not sure he does.
Really?
I don't remember seeing that.
Okay.
Now, I was mostly just checking to make sure his deck was correct, not to... But it could be that there just isn't that many different shields that you want against
against a deck that potentially plays Draw Their Fire, I would think that you would want Secret Plans.
That's a good point. So Justin now using Imperial Command, he's going to be able to get General Hux with this, and use General Hux to get... Did he miss on the Imperial... What's going on here?
That's his...
So he's waiting to do...
He got Grievous.
He got Grievous.
Okay.
So he's waiting to do it in his turn so he can shuffle their strategic reserves in? That's interesting.
That is interesting. Maybe he has Hux in hand, or maybe he's on a different line here.
But if he has Hux in hand, you'd think he'd want strategic reserves in his...
Absolutely.
So he must not have Hux in hand, but then why wouldn't he command for Hux?
Right, he didn't use any other cards that turn.
This is an interesting line. I'm not sure where he's going with that.
Maybe he wants Grievous.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. If he can kill Luke,
Does he have a weapon
he doesn't
left?
need to worry about canceling... I don't remember seeing weapon left, no. And hopefully Brian will be alert to the possibility, though. And
Not sure what he was searching for there, but Brian's going to get a Verify here.
Yeah, probably like a Starkiller base site or something like that. He does run all 3 Starkiller base sites, and so the shield control room is still somewhere in that deck.
That's something that there's been disagreement on among map players, even in the... Within the different builds, the mains build and the trooper build, is how many Starkiller base sites to run. I only ran the shield control. The shield control's on the table.
Oh,
it was just out of view.
There we go.
And Luke's
so all
gonna
3
move.
sides are out.
Luke's okay. Luke's still at the forest.
Okay, so now
I only ran the shield control in the deck I ran yesterday, but there's certainly a lot of upside to running the sites.
I've seen 1, 2, and 3 all as viable builds. So map still.
Does he have a second strategic reserves?
No, so I think so. Just now, Justin.
He played Hux to the
Finalizer
finalizer.
and Hux.
I see. Okay, I missed Hux.
And Hux either pulled it from reserve or he bowed for it from used pile. It was hard to tell.
But that's a lucky play by Justin, though, that he didn't activate that card, or that, and if he did activate the card, then it's a wasted use pile pull.
Yeah, so we're not sure exactly what happened there.
It's not wasted in the sense that now you can use Hux to pull.
It may have been the case if he had already played an Imperial Command that we missed on Brian's turn earlier, and then when he wanted to play it again, Brian said, "Oh, you already played it. You have to recirculate," and so that's why there was that kind of confusion about the recirculation. Maybe that's what it was.
All right, so Justice map flips, and Justin's going to stack his starting interrupt on the effect, and that's really only going to give Kylo power +1 is all it's going to do, but it's still, it's better than not giving Kylo power +1.
So Justin now setting up a really good board position, so it's incumbent upon Brian to challenge this. So Justin is in the position where he can play defense, but he's significantly weaker on the ground than he was just a turn ago. Space, he's probably not very vulnerable in.
Curious if Brian has Unita here and wants to Unita back that altar.
That would be interesting, yeah. Especially if Hux did indeed pull it with his text. That could send
the resistant
strategic reserves for a long...
Sorry, the resistance agent is Leia.
Yeah. So let's see. Brian looks like he's got a pretty big force pile there.
Well, he's had all of his activation going all game.
Right, and 3PO. So I think he must very likely have a stacked hand here. I would like to see an attack on the Tuano village. but he's got good defense. He can cancel 2 weapon destinies between 9s and the objective effect. The I will finish what you started.
None of us know what that effect's called. It doesn't matter. I don't know what the starting interrupt's called either. Here's Jedi Lev.
Maybe that one's I will finish what
He's
you started.
going to retrieve either Rey or Obi-Wan.
Yeah, so those were some really unfortunate top decks then.
What was this? Is he taking that back? Justin doesn't have Coward.
It may. Well, let's see. It looks like Jedi Lev is not being played at the moment. We're not sure why.
He doesn't have secret plans either, so it's only pay 3 to get a guy back. It's a good deal.
It is. And at this point, I think you want to get back Rey here.
I agree. Although, getting back Obi can get you the altar.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not the line that you really want to take here. Maybe we're focusing too much on that.
Forcing the altar line is the winning play because it's still
You're still getting out
leading
damaged.
to-
Yeah.
And so it was a win by 16 for Brian in the first game. So, all right.
Battle
So
plans.
Brian may be on the race plan, which now it doesn't matter if this isn't a winning play in a vacuum. He needs to win the match. So he might be looking to make this as close as possible.
Oh, he can't play Jedi Lev because he can't retrieve.
Oh, that's correct.
Good
That's
call.
Correct. The flip side, yes. The flip side of map cancels retrieval, and right now, Justin is flipped. So interesting that Qui-Gon is going to the battle planes rather than to a different Starkiller base site. I think he, at this point, thinks Justin's activating enough anyway. It doesn't really matter to give him 2 more icons, and let's go on to 2 different planets to strain Justin's reach.
Guys, I won with this deck on camera. You can check it. Rogue One is the play to Starkiller base.
Interesting. And Justin doesn't have any shield pulls left for Coward. Although right now Coward wouldn't be in effect, but that would be something that he'd strive to satisfy before he gets drained to this non-battleground system. But he might not have that opportunity. And could you tell who was piloting Rogue One
I couldn't
here?
see.
Interesting that he even bothered to deploy a pilot, because almost every every map that I've seen plays only Kylo Ren shuttle and finalizer. So
I played Conquest yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see it when you lost that. Or you may have just scooped before then.
I think what happened was I tried to LS6 guys, and you played quite a mercenary, and we never really got to the point of the game where other stuff happened.
That was an accurate representation of what happened. Casey and I had a competitive game of entanglements versus throne room, and then a very not competitive QMC versus map game.
All right, here's Phasma. So another used pile pull for Justin. That's his last one.
Where'd Phasma go? Oh, Phasma's in hand.
Phasma's in hand. Okay.
So he pulled Phasma,
He pulled Phasma
Hux.
with Hux. All right.
So he must have used the used pile pull to get strategic reserves.
Yep.
So that's making altar more attractive if Brian can get another altar.
But again, that just begs the question again. Why didn't you command for Hux?
It must have been
On Brian's turn.
It must have been that he had commanded earlier, and Brian said, "You already did that. You have to recirculate." That's my theory for sure. And I think we have a way to call the things up onto the stream.
We do, but it's not set up at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Well, we might try to set that up for the final. We'll see.
Okay.
The card thing
Yeah.
in the OBS.
Yeah, it's in OBS, but we'll work on it between games. We'll get it for you guys for the final.
Oh, Rogue One has no permanent pilot. Okay, so
Yeah,
John
no.
Anderson
In
would
order
be
for
answering.
Rogue One to deploy to a system, it has to deploy with a pilot.
Okay, so
And
that's
it-
the reason why there's.
That's
a
the
pilot
reason
on
why
board.
a pilot. Yeah, we don't know who that is though.
Yeah, I kind of get the sense that I was Chewie, but I don't know if that's
I'm gonna spotter that real quick.
okay.
Well, maybe in a minute.
Here,
'cause
I'll-
right now, no. Right
okay.
now we got Phasma coming down to fight Luke. Use pile pull for Justin, with bow to the First Order.
So here, I think he's going to want to use FN 2003 here.
Play Spectre, the Supreme Leader. Yeah, John, I think you're right. I think it is Chewy, but we'll verify when we get a free minute. He's not playing Phasma. He's playing Grievous.
Okay. And now
he's playing Phasma. All right.
So you can have more.
Nice of Brian to let him take that back in a semifinal of a major.
He hadn't looked through his use pile yet. So.
No, he had not. But even so, he's going to take FN 2003.
Right, and that's the card, of course, he's looking for.
Yeah, that's really going to mess with Luke. Luke won't be able to fire weapons, will lose immunity to attrition. He plays another trooper for good measure.
Yeah, I think Brian was expecting this at one of the this. He couldn't avoid this happening at a site as long as he does lone characters. I think he's just going to take his lumps here and then get the drains on the other locations. But if Justin can find a way to play Coward, then he's in a really good position.
Trooper Assault. That's going to make...
Okay.
That's going to get grabbed by Brian. It's going to make all 3 troopers power +2 and immune to attrition.
Yeah. So Justin does have a decent trooper complement and the trooper assaults. And that's a high power there. What's Grievous's power? 7?
7.
6? Okay.
It used to be 7. Does it get changed to 6 or is it still 7?
So he's got 14 from the troopers, and then either 6 or 7 and 2 destiny. So
Sense the trooper assault.
A sense on the trooper assault.
And he missed. Oh no, he's got Qui-Gon now. He's got Qui-Gon now.
Does it.
Yeah.
But a sense on the trooper assault indicates to me that he might not have Hujix.
Right, because it's still going to cost him 3 force to play the sense. The sense plus the 2 that he loses to do or do not.
Right, and I don't think he cares too much about the immunity to attrition, because there's Grievous there who won't get the immunity from the trooper assault. So
right, well, Grievous is still immune less than 4 if Brian draws really low.
Right, but it's not worth burning a sense on the trooper assault over if you have the Hujix.
Right.
So I think that Brian may not have the Hujix, and this might be
big.
bad battle for him. And that's a 7. Was that Spectre of the Supreme Leader?
No, I thought that was a foil Imperial Command.
Oh, okay.
And then another
And
ship.
then a shuttle.
Shuttle,
He
yeah.
plays 2 of the shuttles.
Plays 2
I remember
shuttles,
that.
okay. Oh, 1 for Destiny. Drew another, I guess
Yeah.
Brian plays 2 Luke's lightsabers.
Well, it's +1, but yeah, that's...
And he does have the
he has
Hujix.
the Hujix.
All right,
So
all right.
why do you sense that? Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that is a suspect play there.
Him drawing low means that nobody dies to attrition now.
Right, because FN was...
But also, FN was going to die anyway.
FN was going to die
So it
anyway and
only
was going
matters
to
if he
cover the
draws-
forfeit up to Grievous's immunity.
Yeah.
So why
Sensing
sense
that,
the trooper
I think that
assault?
was just...
I agree, that was a
just
misplay.
mistake.
Yeah.
Probably didn't consider that math very well. And now Grievous steals Luke's lightsaber. So, now Luke's lightsaber is not a persona of Luke's lightsaber when it's the dark side, right?
No, I think it is. Well, it's
It is?
a unique lightsaber. He can't redeploy another Luke's
can't?
lightsaber.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew there was some kind of weird rule about that.
Maybe if Luke
Maybe
crosses.
it's when the EPP Luke crosses, it's no... Okay, I'm not sure.
Forget about personas. It's the same copy of a unique card
Yeah.
that's on the table.
Okay. Wait, we're looking at the stream here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Justin is shield busted though,
Right.
so he can't play coward.
Yeah, so even despite that, with the Hujix, things are still semi-even here. Now, Grievous can use Luke's lightsaber? Is that how it works?
Yeah,
So
he can use it.
actually
He can
get
add to the
fortune.
drain. Yep.
So right now, Justin is running 6 down. Oh, and Brian can't even afford to drain. So Brian now going on the offensive.
Brian just
Jakku.
play the Falcon to Jakku
The Falcon, I'm assuming, with a pilot here.
with Anakin.
Anakin piloting.
This doesn't seem great.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
And maybe the force draining is not
And
going to get him there.
Rey? Who's that? Padme.
Padme.
Anakin and Padme.
That's not... Padme does pretty much nothing right now.
And that might be Rey. Yeah, that's Rey. Use Battle Search.
So, alright, so Padme is adding a Destiny to attrition, though, with Anakin Skywalker. So.
Right, and there's no Captain Peavy. Justin's got a close call. I can't see if he has a command.
I don't think he does.
I don't see one. He never actually played Thrawn to the ship, so he's only drawing one battle destiny. There's a 6. And that's going to get close called.
Lost.
Make it -3. And Mitaka, Justin's going to let that go lost because he hasn't any force saved. So
But it's still a 6.
It's still a 6. Doesn't cancel it.
So actually, yeah, it's a 4. It's a 4 destiny. And an
And
attrition of
Cornhorn.
3. So that's 7 attrition coming to Justin now.
That's only going to take care of...
Oh, alright, and Justin's now pointing out that there was a first... Is there a first early leader up? Yeah, Hux is up at the finalizer, so he needed to use a force
Yes. Okay.
to draw the battle destiny and didn't do that. And so that's what they're working on now.
He's going to Jedi Lev the attrition destiny.
Yeah, so Corrin get to it, but the Jedi Lev is supposed to go after the battle.
He doesn't need to pay to draw the attrition destiny though. He
That's
gets a
correct.
5 there. All right.
Yeah.
So a total of 9.
And he knows that close call has already been played, so he can use that last
Right.
card there. So that's a total of 9 attrition.
It's the shuttle and Hux.
Hux. 9 attrition, not actually really any different than 7.
Right.
But also, he gets the Corrin in hand.
Well, now
So-
he's going to lose Padme. He's got to move Rogue One over, I guess, because he knows that Thrawn has been in Justin's hands since the first turn of the game and is going to come down and draw 2 battle destiny next turn.
Right. And they're just working on the order, and I think they've got it very wrong. But
All right, there's the move over.
and we think that's Chewie.
We think that's Chewie.
So Solo and Chewie, and who is the
Solo's not there.
or not Solo? Anakin. Is it just Anakin piloting the Falcon?
It's just
now?
Anakin. It's Anakin on the and Rey. Anakin and Rey.
Anakin and Rey. Okay, so Rey.
Because he lost Padme.
Okay,
Yeah.
just Padme. I'm surprised. Oh wait,
So
it's
he's
7
getting it was a 10 attrition,
It was a
but it
10,
still didn't
yeah.
matter. Yeah.
Wait, didn't it? Did he? What did he lose? Hux in the shuttle? Yeah, that's 10. Okay.
Yeah. I guess he couldn't have lost Ozzel in the shuttle because it was 10.
Yeah.
Hux, it was the difference between losing Ozzel or Hux.
No, John. The second attrition draw should go before the Jedi Lev, because the Jedi Lev is still resolving when you redraw the destiny. But, I mean, it's not worth us trying to step in and correct.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I've never done that.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't you do that yesterday? Had you switch them? Or maybe the game was over at that point and I thought about it and was like, whatever. But yeah, that's how it goes. At least I think it does. We should try
It
to
makes
find
sense
out.
because Jedi Lev does say redraw, so until you've redrawn, you haven't finished resolving the
Right,
Jedi Lev.
yeah, I'm
but
almost positive about this. Alright, so now I think these are top decks for Brian.
Jedi's concentration. I like that card in combat, but not much else. Yeah, he peeled a 6 and a 5 to the drain.
Yeah. So drain was total for 4. Now this
Not
is Justin,
good destinies.
Yeah, looking through his reserves, I think what was the interrupt? Was it Ellis?
Ellis.
Yeah. So like, and Hux is also not out. So the first order guys are
Right,
lower
right.
Destiny.
You still got to play Thrawn here. You're just going to play Dr. E for forfeit fodder, and then probably Thrawn.
Yeah, and power.
There he is. Right, the Dr. E adds 2 to power, 3 to power?
Yes.
It's not insignificant. 3, yeah. That's pretty good. Oh, and he's going to stack Close Call from his lost pile on the effect, so he can play that this turn. You see that gick in the front of Justin's hand. Don't think that's going to matter much here, but it could be a factor down the line if he wants to make a hit and run attack.
And I don't know what Brian does in this situation. I don't think he has a very large hand. He's losing space and... Justin looks like... Whoa, Justin does not battle.
I like that.
I would have battled for sure.
He's got poor destinies. He's not going to clear all that much. He's going to lose some of his guys, and then potentially Brian can load up more characters on the ships and counterbeat on the next turn. I like not battling there for Justin. He's still got the close call available. Although the blowout would be if Brian's able to play Leia on the ship now, retrieve force for initiating, turn off that close call. Or I guess Leia couldn't do it on the ship. She would need to be at the battleground, so he plays Leia down to the battle planes.
Yeah, and still will retrieve for initiating. And, I mean, what if he adds, like, Solo or something there, gets a second battle destiny?
Yeah, meanwhile, Brian can finally drain for free now. He's going to get into drain of 2.
Which is probably getting canceled. Nope.
Nope.
He has to lose Isard and some interrupt that we can't see.
Yeah. And there is Leia at the battle planes. Map flips back. No close call.
At the battle planes, interesting.
Well, she can't go to space because that's not going to flip the objective.
I would have put her to like the control room or something.
Well, then she's a sitting duck. And you saw that okay. Brian already burned his Hujix.
And I guess you did see the Ellis. Okay. I mean, I'm just it's hard. Brian is more aware of what the.
He's not worried about the Ellis because he starts Insurrection, so you can't actually Ellis into the shield control.
Ellis is out.
But you can Doffeld in there. And then if you have another couple troopers, that's bad
true.
News.
I forgot about Doffeld. Yeah, so Leia needs to be protected more than the average character. Okay, so we do see the Jedi left for the Solo. So Brian's getting 2 battle destinies in space. Each of them are +1, and he's adding 1 to the total battle destiny. So he can actually kind of. I mean, one of the things we've been saying is that you don't have a ton of characters in map. There's not. Because of the character restrictions.
Depends how many troopers you play.
Characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but troopers, you don't really want to put them up there
in
just
space,
as
right.
Straight forfeit fodder.
Looks like battle was initiated by Brian, and we do see a command from Justin.
Yeah, command presumably to limit.
To limit, because I think he's only drawn. Well, no, it would be a command.
There's a first order character at Jakku, so.
It would be a command to add, wouldn't it? Because
maybe it is add.
He's only drawing 1 destiny.
Wait, was it a command to search? There's no way it was a command to search.
Well, he had to shuffle. He knew his top destinies were terrible.
Okay.
So it could have been a command to search. He's already drawing 2. Brian's only drawing 1.
Well, command. I mean, he would use any other shuffle than command.
It's possible. That's all he had. 6-4, and that's going to be.
Well, actually, they both. Yeah.
Well, that was a good shuffle, but that's a 13 total battle destiny for.
Yeah. So.
But that's only going to take out Thrawn and Dr. E.
Dr. E. Meanwhile, I think that's 15. Okay, now 14. All right, so their tracking us should be the top card out of those 3.
That was a good shuffle for Justin.
So 14 attrition that Brian needs to satisfy, I think, which he can do with. Okay, that is Chewie.
Oh, and Solo's there too?
Yeah, Chewie and Solo, so that's why he's drawing 2.
Yeah.
Alright, so he loses Chewie and Anakin. And now he's got Rey and Solo, so he still draws 2.
That's 14, right, and 14, okay.
Yep, so that covers. Alright, yeah, I think that's the forfeit I would have made as well, and Justin forfeits.
He's stuck with Finalizer on Ozzel, the same as he was at the start of the turn.
Right, so now he doesn't have. Yeah, okay, so they're just.
Brian retrieved, right?
So he forfeited Rey and Anakin instead? Wait, what's going on here?
I would.
Wait, so. Alright, so.
Anakin and Chewie covers. He forfeits Solo.
Anakin and Solo. I don't understand.
I don't understand that.
So maybe it was 15. Maybe we missed.
Yeah.
Maybe it was 15.
He's gonna get Solo back with Walkling.
Okay. And I'll probably 3PO into him.
Justin's gonna hit for 4-5 here.
Yeah, that was a 5-3-7, right? And then he subtracted 1. Or maybe it was a 5-4-7. The second card looked like mob points, but obviously it's not mob points, so I don't know what it was.
All right, Philo and Speak to 1 drain.
Okay, so he 3PO'd already? Brian did?
I'm not sure.
Well, there's
Inconsequential.
that card in the use pile. He must. If he's top decking now, he must have 3PO'd.
Oh, he must have 3PO'd if there's a
back.
card in the use pile.
Yeah. So he's got Solo in hand.
And Corrin. Okay. Inconsequential and Corrin.
Yeah, so those are... Brian doesn't care that much about those cards lost.
That Inconsequential Barriers was inconsequential.
Yeah. So Brian for sure... Or Justin for sure is going to win this game. The question is about the differential. Now, the situation is that...
There's PV. This is
Okay.
going to make it tough.
Yes.
Now that Solo was lost and Brian's
there's
only drawing 1
Grand Moff
and Tarkin. Justin's not running out of gas.
So at this point, Justin should be initiating the battle.
Yeah, I would agree with that here.
Did
He's
Br-
not going to crack his
Did
attrition
Brian
here.
retrieve 2 when he initiated?
That's what I was asking. He should have, right?
And it would have been free.
Yeah. I'm going to assume he did, but I didn't see.
The guy below Tarkin is Captain PV.
Formerly known as Vice Admiral Red Sox.
So makes Finalizer immune less than 10. That's going to be an issue. So at this point, with only 1 Battle Destiny from Brian, Justin will initiate. And I think this is going to be, and Justin activated to the 7. What's that card? What's that?
It's Imperial Command.
Oh, that's Command.
Yeah, it's a
okay, so that's
4/7.
what. Yeah, all right, so it was a 4 last turn. So yeah.
And Brian drew a 6, and that's going to be a 7, but it's not enough.
So I think this is going to make it very difficult for Brian to get Justin to the differential necessary to win the match.
Mm-hmm. It's looking pretty good for Justin right now. Rogue One and Chewie going to go. It's going to leave the Falcon with Rey. Justin doesn't have to lose anything. Solo's in hand for Brian, but that might not be enough. And he peels to Overflow, a Luke and a Leadership. He has not used the Solo Lost Pile interrupt yet this game, but I'm not sure what he has in there. I guess Leadership now.
Yeah, nothing particularly relevant. I mean, he doesn't have anything to use Rebel Leadership with.
Right, he doesn't have Hera. Or Hera doesn't even do it.
Admiral Akbar would be the
Admiral
card
Akbar,
that he'd
right.
be looking for, but I don't think he has Admiral Akbar in the deck. We haven't seen Home 1.
So what's he running the Leaderships for? Just
Well, General Leia.
General Leia?
Yeah. And Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan.
We never have made a card named General Kenobi. That's interesting.
Well, for the longest time, you couldn't even pull Obi-Wan Kenobi with Rebel Leadership because it was too good.
That's right. Okay, so Solo does go to the Falcon.
You saw Phasma cancel the drain.
And
Another character stuck on there. Couldn't see who that was, but
looks
Brian
like
might not be done.
Looks like it's Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight.
Okay.
So it's going to add 1 to each of the Battle Destiny. So he's got 2 Battle Destiny, each plus 1.
He initiates.
He has to.
See if he remembers to retrieve here. Yes.
Yes, okay, so he retrieves 2.
Retrieves 2.
And he needs to get the better of these destinies, and Luke needs to... Okay, those
All
are
right,
good
double
destinies.
double sixes. That's
Double 7s, even.
double 7s plus 1 is 15.
Oh, but Justin drew high enough to kill
Justin
more
drew
than just
12. Yeah.
So, let's
15 is going to take out all the characters, but
see. Okay, and then Justin can... Or Brian forfeits everyone but Solo, probably?
yeah.
Or wait, why Solo and not Rey? I would maybe consider keeping Rey. Maybe he's gonna.
He's got the 6 on top. You know what Justin hasn't played yet?
What's that?
No Escape. He's got PV on top of his lost pile.
Is Phasma been deployed anywhere?
Yeah, Phasma's...
Oh, Phasma is on the table. So Phasma on the strategic reserve
Phasma's on
an
the
actual
forest.
threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Brian forced to top deck the 6s.
Brian can't have a lot of
I
force
think
left. He
Brian
can't have more than
might
3 or
not
4
have any
force
cards
left.
in his hand.
Yeah.
So as long as Justin has someone to go on the finalizer, he's in real business.
Well, he's just got the
The
shuttle.
second shuttle. And Brian scoops. Wait,
Okay.
was that a scoop?
That might have been...
No, that was the... Never mind.
Yeah, he's still got the solo text. He can use it for a Hujix if he has to.
If he uses it for Hujix, the game is over.
Game is over, yeah. Well, let's see how many... I'm going to get a life force count right now.
Sure. Alright, so Justin battles just the finalizer and Kylo Ren shuttle. I think he's got that 7 tracked. So the 7 here is going to kick Brian out of space. Also, the power differential is 12 to 6. I don't think there's any... Brian might have a They're Tracking Us lost, although no, They're Tracking Us is grabbed, so he can't play that. Yeah, Brian draws a 5. Justin drew something. I can't see what it was. It looks like that was the 7. So Justin has to lose the shuttle only.
So it's very close. It's much closer than we thought. Brian has about 8 cards left or so, and he does have a hand of 1 or 2 cards. Justin is right around that 15-16 mark.
Is he really? And how big is Justin's hand?
Big.
Okay. Well, if it's big, then it's not that
If it's big, it's not that close, but we'll see.
Because
Justin's looking pretty good.
Justin's gonna win.
He's in good shape.
The match?
He's in good shape.
Yeah.
Really? Awesome. Thanks, Ed.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah, depending on how big the hand is, if Justin can take a few drains of 2 at the battle planes, it's probably only going to be about 2 turns before Brian's out of life force here. Yeah, and Justin
wants to spread.
realizing that
Yeah.
is now... That's strange. That's
I think
really
Brian only
strange.
has 1 card in hand, and not enough to deploy in battle. So Justin is saying, I am going to essentially go old school ISB drop and drain on you and just cover
but
everything with 1 stormtrooper.
Now
and you
Justin no
can't
longer
stop me.
has battle plan stuff going on.
That's true.
But, I mean, I guess he's saying that he can pay 9 to drain, and he's still going to be
Yeah,
fine.
he's got at least 12. He can pay for 4 drains. He can do that.
Okay, I would have done that except just not move the finalizer. I mean, I guess his plan is to move the finalizer next turn back with actually having Phasma on it.
Well, if all you have
But
is
why not
Phasma on the
just-
finalizer, you don't want to risk that
Well, he'll
Brian
shut-
has another ray in his hand or something and can come down, draw, and clear you entirely in space.
Well, I mean, it's just as bad to be cleared in space as to have finalizer at the Starkiller race.
Well, not if you can do this for 1 turn, and then if it doesn't work, redeploy 1 more character on the finalizer and move back to Jakku.
That must be what his plan is. Although I would have liked to just, shuttle a couple of troopers on board and whatever.
Justin has 14 in life force. He needs to get 2 cards back somehow.
Two or 1 and win on lost battle type.
No,
16.
16. He needs to get 2 or 3 if he can't win on lost
At this
battle.
point, I would just be paying to drain, go as Brian.
Yeah.
So he does pay to drain.
And Justin loses 2 from hand.
2 from hand.
Clearly did not have another trooper.
So maybe Justin's trying to set up a win of a battle with Phasma to retrieve a trooper somehow. Okay, people. This is a lot closer than we had thought. 14 is a big difference from enough. Okay.
I'd like to see that presented as a math equation, the difference between 14 and enough.
Get your chalkboards out. Alright, Brian drawing a bunch.
To answer it, though, the difference between 14 and enough is 3.
Right. Justin looks like maybe 4 cards in hand or so. Big drains coming through
Brian
here.
pitches 2.
2,
This is
1,
3, right?
1.
It's drain plus 1.
No, because
not
he's
drain
not
plus one,
flipped.
right.
So that's total drains of 4. So Brian might actually be able to... No, he's got
can
2
drain
cards in
at the,
hand.
He can drain at the village, right? Oh, he's not going to do it. He doesn't have the...
And now Justin moves
back.
I would have liked to see Finalizer stay at Jakku there. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Well, it's possible that Brian had cards in hand and now he doesn't.
Brian has 2 cards in hand now.
Does he? Is that his hand or is... Yeah.
Yeah, his hand...
He may not have enough force to do anything with them.
Right.
He's got 4 force.
Yeah, so he just Force Drains and that's
3 and 1, yeah.
So he's going to Force Drain and probably draw a card so they can just top deck 3, and that would be his best lost pile thing.
Justin, I see Ventress in hand.
Yeah, so Justin needs used interrupts here.
Yeah.
And let's see, does Brian have his grabber still? No.
That's it. That's going to be Brian.
Is it Brian?
I think so.
Let's get confirmation.
We're finding out. It's over.
Justin didn't play any used interrupts, so... What do we got?
We have Justin Desai winning the game by 14, which means that Brian Mishke is in the finals of the MPC.
Wow. Shocking upset. Justin Desai, everyone said, looking at the field with no Johnny Chu, with no Emil Wallen, people would say Justin Desai pre-tournament favorite to win the event. Of course, the pre-tournament favorite is never the pre-tournament favorite against the field.
I'm going to get an update real quick on the other semifinal. Tom is going to hold down the fort for a second.
Sure. So Brian Mishke continuing a very strong showing. He played me earlier. I was the 1 seed. He's the 4, and I said to myself as soon as I saw the bracket, that's a really rough 4 seed for me to be facing. And Brian proving just how good of a player he is. Most people in the Minnesota community say he's the best player from Minnesota. So, proving that today, yes. One of the products of Mark Walseth's Rosemount Middle School Star Wars CCG program that has just produced a ton of players, and we're seeing these last few years a ton of high quality players.
What was it?
And so the result is that Brian advances.
Okay.
So split games, but Brian won by more.
All right, we've got an update on the other semifinal. Reed won the first game by 25 force. The second game, Reed's playing Hitco against Phil's Imperial Entanglements, and Phil appears to be below 25 force at this point.
It's hard for Imperial Entanglements to win by 25. It can be done, but that's a tough hill to climb. I saw some of that first game. The matchup was Old Allies versus TTO, which I thought normal conventional wisdom was that Old Allies was actually favored in it.
Do you go with the Falcon to try to blow up the Death Star in that matchup?
I don't think you do, and Phil didn't do that. I think because the flip side is actually pretty good against the TTO damage, but there was actually an incident in the game where Reed used the Mienda cannons to shoot the Falcon, and both players missed that the Falcon was defense value 8 and should have survived, but was placed into lost pile. And so that may have contributed to the heavy margin of victory for Reed in that first game. And then... Wait, what was the light there? Oh, Hitco. I don't have much experience with Hitco. I would, I mean, it's entanglement, so it should be favored against everything. But if you have to, when you know that you have to win by 25, you make a lot of decisions differently than you would in a normal match.
All right, coming up in just a minute, we're going to have Brian Mishke joining us in advance of his finals matchup, which looks like it's probably going to be against Reed Smith. That's certainly a gauntlet to go through to win the MPC, Justin Desai and Reed Smith.
That was for me. The first time I won the MPC, I had to play Matt Sokol and Kevin Shannon to make it there. And I felt like that made my win feel a lot better, having to play the quality opponents. So I wonder if Brian thinks the same.
All right, and we are welcoming Brian Mischke to the booth. Brian, has it sunk in yet that you are about to play for the 2018 Match Play Championship?
Not really. I mean, I'm just trying to go each game, try to just play it out. Hope everything goes according to plan. Last game didn't really go how I wanted it, but I mean, it worked out in the end. So, yeah.
Tell us about the decks that you're playing. You're playing Throne Room for light. What was the thought process behind going with that deck?
I just think Throne Room's a good deck. It's a deck that I'm comfortable with, and I just want to play decks that I was comfortable with against Justin. I know he's a great player, so it was. I was just trying to be able to play at my best. I didn't want to play something I'm uncomfortable with to counter him, so I just played something I was comfortable with. Hoped the cards were good enough to get the W.
What did you put him on?
I put him on TRM, and I did not put him on map. That surprised me. It was like probably Hunt Down or TTO. Those were the two decks I put him on because that's what he plays a lot. And, I mean, it's a lot like his style. So map really threw me off, and I wasn't expecting it. I haven't tested much against it either, so it was an interesting game. I didn't really kind of confused on what to do.
In this world of new school decks like Map and Y4O and Hitco and Resistance and First Order, you're going to the finals playing a deck that's been around for 23 years now in TRM, and an old school mains deck with your EOPS build.
Yeah.
Do you tend to find yourself gravitating towards those kinds of mains decks?
Yeah. I think I just the more control-y decks like Old Allies and kind of like Hitco too. It's more control-y than TRM. It's a different style that I'm not really comfortable playing. To like the best. I haven't really played them my entire life. I played like back in the day in Legacy. I played Communing, which is like the same thing, just battle fight all the time. Those types of decks I've just been like playing for my entire life. So it's the entire time I'm playing Star Wars. So it just makes it's more comfortable for me to play those types of decks basically.
All right, last question. I know your teacher Mark Walseth is watching, and you got a big community back in Minnesota. Anything that you want to say to them before you get ready to play in the finals?
Yeah, thanks for bringing me to this game and teaching me how to become better at it and giving me all advice throughout the years. Hopefully I can bring home a W for Rosemont.
All right, Brian Mischke, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back soon with the championship of the Match Play Championship. Stick around. And we will probably post on Twitter and in the Facebook group right before we're about to get going. My guess would be probably about 20 to 30 minutes from now, but like I said, look for our tweets and our posts.
Do we just keep the stream going or turn it off?
I'm going to stop recording.
Okay.
We're going to...
We could do like player interviews or something. I mean, I don't feel like you're a player.
Yeah, we're gonna keep the stream going, but we're gonna be on break.
What happened yesterday? Or what was the Harpster thing? What happened?